Thank you for that very kind introduction. We've all heard a lot of stories about innovation and how it's a very critical lever in tackling climate change. At Climate Collective, we're really lucky to witness this innovation very closely and also interact with the brilliant startups that are building these solutions. I really want to thank IVCA today for giving a stage to these startup solutions and the founders, and more so bringing together the right people in the room who can enable these solutions. Without any further ado, I'd just like to explain the format of the upcoming pitches. We'll have 5 minutes for every startup, 4 minutes for the startup to pitch the solution, and then we'll take a minute for the audience interaction. If you all have any questions, if you all have interest in connecting with the startup later, or just some words of encouragement, we'll be happy to take those for the next 1 minute. So yeah, without taking any more time, we'll get into like the first brilliant startup solution. I'd like to invite Mr. Gaurav Raghav, founder of OceanLux, to the stage. A big round of applause, please.
Hi, thank you, and good evening. Hi, good evening, everybody, once again. So my name is Gaurav. I am founder of OceanLux CCU. CCU is, you must be aware about the carbon capture utilization. And we are a startup based out at Jaipur, working into microalgae-based air purification. So before coming to the problem part, I need to brief you about the air pollution. So there are two kind of air quality and air pollution. The outdoor one is major into your AQI. This AQI is a seasonal problem. This doesn't remain round the year. And this consists about 96% of dust, PM 2.5 and multiple things. There is a secondary air pollution which remain indoor, which is present here. And this is defined by how much CO2 ppm is in your indoor area. And at any given time, this remains 4 to 6 times higher than the outdoor. So current ambient air quality in terms of CO2 ppm right now is 1800, which means consuming 16 cigarettes in a day non-stop. So we are working on this ambient air quality. So as the problem part which we are trying to solve is ambient air quality. 99% green building in India is suffering from these issues. They are good in AQI, but they fail to maintain this ambient air quality. Air purifiers, they work on dust removal. They don't produce oxygen. They don't remove CO2. As a severity of proof, in Tier 1 city like Delhi, NCR, Mumbai, and other cities, 34% kids are suffering from lungs disorders versus 8% in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. Another, as a severity of proof, 32,500 people yearly got sudden heart attack in gymnasium area. And the primary reason remain the lack of oxygen. Body need more oxygen during the workout, and higher CO2 ppm remain in gymnasium area. Before coming to the solution part, I need to brief you small about the microalgae. They are single cell tiny plant. They are up to 400 times more powerful than trees in terms of photosynthesis. They are sole responsible to generate globally about 70% of oxygen. Trees contribution remain 24% or less than 24%. They are even so powerful they can capture your nuclear radiation, which they done in Russia. They are recognized as a superfood also. So this is my product, my solutions, which I am offering, is Ocean Tree. It's a microalgae-based solution, and the technology is artificial photosynthesis 24/7. So one ocean tree, or one this kind of unit is equivalent to 6 number of trees, which produce yearly 135,000 liters of oxygen, which is sufficient to feed 1850 people in a year. And this image belongs to Jaipur International Airport. I deployed 5 units last year in the month of July. Now this become ESG part of entire Adani group. So this is available on Adani website. The costing of this unit about 4.5 lakh rupees onwards. This cover area 1,200 square feet. The power consumption is as low as 70 watt. It also made 3 national policy, which is Bio E3 policy, CCU policy, and NCAP policy. This also covers 7 UN SDG goals, which made it perfect for the any CSR, along with the green building certification, which cover the 62.1, LEED, GHG, and ESG reporting also. This is, I deployed recently at Lucknow Airport in the month of March. Current customers is entire Adani Group, JLL, Brookfield, DLF. We done commercial in DLF last month. Very soon in Times of India. Very soon in Godrej Properties, Hiranandani Properties. Right now, we just crossed our pilot and we last crossed our revenue of 19 lakh rupees. So gross margins remains 50%. We are expecting to become break even by December 2027. We are assuming 6 CR of revenue by end of this year. So right now we are at a valuation of 40 CR. This is one solution which I am offering in Delhi NCR, one of Minister Bangalore. Instead of putting this green bamboo wala blind, I am planning to put this photobioreactors, and this will be equivalent to 400 number of trees. This is something I am doing at airport. The new airports are coming with huge deforestation and new plants not possible to plant there. So this 1 kilometer of photobioreactor will be equivalent to 10,000 number of trees. I am planning to cover 18 kilometers of Noida International Airport. This is something I am planning and will execute in the month of September at Bangalore Airport and very soon at Ahmedabad Airport also. This is something we are doing, which I am proposed to NHAI, and this will be happen by March 2027 at Mumbai, between Delhi and Jaipur Expressway Highway. This is my team. These are few rewards and recognition, and this is something I designed for the NMDC. Thank you very much at the mining side. Yeah.
You know, we love the networking that's happening in the F&B area. That just shows it's as engaging as the sessions, but if you can keep it softer, it's distracting the speakers here, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Gaurav, for the great pitch. We now open the floor for the Q&A or any feedback you have for Gaurav. Any questions? I can come.
Yes, sir.
Please take the mic. Please take the
So
mic.
right now, I done commercials in indoor only, and from this quarter onwards, I will be available for outdoor solution also.
Okay, but what is the smallest size we can get if a family wants to do something like this?
Yes,
then is it possible?
I am not into D2C segment. I am doing only B2B and B2G segment.
Any other question? Yeah, please.
So what is the benefit compared to ventilators to get like oxygen and remove CO2?
Can you repeat again?
So compared to ventilator, what is the like main benefit of this?
Okay,
Yeah.
so right now the existing solution available in any commercial space or any living area, they are designed for your AQI, or PM 2.5, PM 10.0. But meanwhile, by solving those things, they enhance your CO2 ppm level, and meanwhile your oxygen level get down. So I'm working on this ambient air quality.
Okay. Thank you, Gaurav. We will move to the next startup.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'd like to invite Abhinav Gupta, who's the Chief Executive Officer of Breethr.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Abhinav Gupta from Breethr. I have been in the air quality business for the last 12 years. I started my journey in the air quality monitoring business in 2014. Ran that for around about 10 years before I transitioned into what I'm doing today at Breethr. And in one line, what Breethr does is optimize every breath for better health and longer life, right? Everyone sitting here knows that we are facing an invisible crisis when it comes to air quality. However, I think our dimension for air quality as a problem is restricted only to AQI. In fact, I think AQI itself is restricted to only PM 2.5, whereas AQI as such contains more than 12 parameters to be actually counted as an index. However, we don't think of CO2 as an air quality problem. We don't think of humidity as an air quality problem, but they are as bad as PM 2.5. If anyone here knows the gentleman Jordan Peterson, a very famous public intellectual, for the last 8 months, Jordan Peterson has air quality related diseases for which he is in the ICU. Not because of PM 2.5 or AQI or carbon monoxide or ozone. It's because of humidity. It's because there's fungus because of the humidity, and that is causing damage to the lungs. So the invisible crisis goes beyond PM 2.5, PM 10. It goes to CO2, it goes to humidity, it goes to temperature, it goes to every aspect of air. And today, we do each of these things separately. So we have a separate purifier, a separate HEPA filter, something separate for cooling, something for heating, something for dehumidification, something for adding moisture. And someone who's informed about what they need to do with their air would probably have more than 5 or 6 different type of gadgets in their house. And that's what Breethr is trying to solve. The solution is to have one device that manages everything for your air. You want hot air, you want cold air, you want moist air, you want dry air, you want oxygen in your air, you don't want pollution in your air, you don't want fungus in your air. You don't have to think about different devices. One device, what you want, will be delivered in terms of the air quality. This is Breethr XL. Breethr XL is a commercial unit of Breethr. We have deployed more than 1,000 of these units in the market in UAE, India, and the US. And this covers everything. So this one unit does heating, cooling, humidification, dehumidification, fresh air management, filtration, fungus removal, ozone removal, all in single gadget. Anything you want to do with your air can be done with a single device. And I don't think I need to explain about the market demand. However, some numbers will really help. In India, generally, we think that air quality is just a Mumbai problem or a Delhi problem. When I go to Bangalore, a lot of people tell me, oh, Bangalore's air quality is amazing. But the ones who face pollen issues, issues due to histamines, issues due to humidity, come and tell me that, no, Bangalore's not that great either. We need your Breethr in the Bangalore city as well. Not just there. I'm talking US, I'm talking Canada. Take example for US, right? US homes typically only have heating, no ventilation. They can manage their temperature when it's cold, but they can't do anything when it's hot. They can't do anything when there's a tsunami outside and there's fungus growing inside. They can't do anything when everything is shut and the CO2 goes really high. They can't do anything when the wildfire is there. So when they look at Breethr, they look at one device that takes care of all seasons in a single go. And these numbers will really help understand that this problem is not just an India problem. It's a global problem. And the solution has to be global. So before I tease you with our consumer product that we're going to launch soon, some traction. As I said, we've done almost 1,000 units, clocking almost $1 million in revenue since January 2025. We have a pipeline of about $5 million coming in the next 12 months, primarily working with real estate developers, residential real estate developers across the globe. Some of the biggest names like Kalpataru, Kolte Patil Sugi Group in India, and quite a big of not so big names in the US and in the UAE. We are on the way to capture the globe, replace Mitsubishi, replace the word AC, replace the word purifier with Breethr. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the introduction to a consumer product. Breethr P1. And sorry, let me just do that again. Oops. Okay, yeah, so this is Breethr P1 launching soon globally. We've already released 6 units of these devices and they've already been picked up, already spoken for by some of the biggest sports people in the world. The idea is, and the reason, the way people in US think about air versus how people in India think about air. In India, people think of air as something that's going to kill them. In US, people think of air something to be optimized to live longer. And that's the biggest difference in psyche between purchasing in India and the global markets. But we are launching P1 globally, starting. That's my time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Happy to take any questions.
Yeah. Thank you, Abhinav, for the great pitch. We now open the floor for the Q&A or any feedback you have. Okay.
So costs right now, I understand that everyone's very eager about it, but costs are something that price is still being discovered. So we have early bird prices. I would really recommend you to reach out to us on our email. We will give you early bird prices. Retail prices could be different, so which is why I don't want to go out and give out the pricing right now.
Okay, the other question I have is, as a consumer, do I have to tweak each parameter by myself? Or is there a preset function?
That's a very good question. I think in the beginning, we would give, say for example, certain things are obviously preset, like we don't want pollutions to be high. So pollution has to be single digit. CO2 has to be less than 900. So that is already preset. I think things that we are giving people to preset is the humidity and temperature. I think as we collect more data, for example, people who have very sensitive skin and very sensitive hair would have a certain type of preset for humidity. That is something that is not yet set for us, but is something that is in the works and will come up. Like for example, we want to give you presets like Breethr for better hair should be a certain type of preset, but not at this time.
In the interest of time, we can only take one question and keep it very, very short.
How are you handling CO2? Like, is it a scrubber or is it...
No scrubber. We put positive pressure air. 5 ACH positive pressure air in the room. Until unless it's like a very airtight built room, like a hospital room, usually the building leakages let the CO2 and excess other air out.
Okay.
Question.
Yes.
Does it take care of TVOCs?
Of course.
And a comment. Are you aware of a study by Harvard University, www.thecogeffectstudy.com, which shows that if the CO2 levels are under 600 ppm indoors and TVOC is under 200 microgram, your cognitive abilities can go up by as much as 299%.
Absolutely. And Kamal sir, I've seen your TED talk a long time back. I have to say that you're kind of an inspiration for me to do air quality work. That's absolutely correct. Although 600 ppm of CO2 means a lot of energy consumption. Not a lot of people are okay with that. Though we do know sports people who are into longevity would want less than 600. IVF centers. In fact, some of the people that I work with, which are like high performance athletes, they say that put 4 units if you want, but maintain it below 600 and maintain a TVOC under 100 ppb if possible. So we don't measure 100 ppb and less, but we do our best to do as low as possible.
Okay, thank you, Abhinav.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah. So we move on to the next startup.
Thank you, Abhinav. That was amazing. Please feel free to reach out to Abhinav after this session and pick his brain a little bit more. Up next, we have Gaurav Dwivedi, CEO of UGreen Technology. A huge round of applause for Gaurav, please.
Hello, everyone. I hope I'm properly audible. So thank you all for coming here and for listening to us. So we are UGreen Technology, and we turn your emissions not just into solution, but into something that from which you can make profits or from which you can make money out of. So basically, we are working at point source carbon dioxide capturing solution, where we capture the carbon dioxide and convert it into value-added products like fuel that you could reutilize in your industries for burning purposes, hence creating a circular economy in your whole system. So the problem that we often talk about when we talk about air quality or anything is the air is very bad, we need to do something and all of these things. But we are not directly focusing on the root cause. The air is bad, that's the result of what we are doing at the industrial level. Industries, they need to produce steel, they need to produce cement, all of these things, because that's the very basic of the civilization is built upon. So we cannot stop them from producing this, but yes, we can give a solution by which they can produce all of these things. Our development can continue, and still we can decarbonize our atmosphere and make this earth a livable planet again. So that's where UGreen Technology comes in with its innovative solution of capturing the carbon dioxide at the very point of emission, that is the chimneys from where the CO2 is getting emitted. We also capture the carbon dioxide from multiple other sources like your natural gas, your flue gas, and all of these things. Hence, and that's not just it. After converting the carbon dioxide, after capturing the carbon dioxide, we convert it into value-added products like fuel that you could reutilize in your industries, hence creating a circular economy and profitability out of your decarbonization operations. So the solution that we have opted for is totally made in India. It's patented and developed by us in India itself for capturing as well as for the conversion it into back. So that's the basic of how the system is implemented in the industries. So if you have a stack or if you have a chimney, we'll install it in your chimney just after your ESP or any of these areas without any infrastructural damages, without any process change, without any fuel change. We'll deliver you decarbonized air so that you don't only meet your regulatory compliances, but you can also generate some revenue out of your decarbonization expenses. That's a 1 ton per day of a CO2 capture machine that we have installed recently at our facility. We are currently working with Oil India Limited and multiple other oil and gas sector. In the flue gas sector, we are working with some of the big chemical companies and steel companies as of today. So this particular machine, if I'll talk about, so this is 100% made in India, developed in India, designed in India, and everything in India. We don't import anything from the outside world or from the European countries or anywhere else. So I'll not talk about the competitive landscape because we know where we stand and we know that the only thing that matters in the longer run is your operational expense. And we are very proud to say that we are 60% more economical than our competitors in Europe or even some of them who are operating out of India. So these are the utilization pathways that we basically provide our industries and consumers to. The starting one is your carbon monoxide. That's not just a fuel. That also is a reducing agent. So India is stepping it into Industry 4.0. We are all talking about AI, we are talking about semiconductors and everything. But one thing that's the most basic or the building block of semiconductor industry is silicon. So the ore obviously has oxides associated with it. You need to reduce that in order to get the silicon. And the process by which the industries are doing that, that's not very green in nature or that's not at all green in nature. So that's what we are solving over here. Whatever you are generating, we are giving you back. Then you are generating, we are giving you back. So nothing is getting into the atmosphere per se. The best part about our whole system, from capturing till conversion, we don't require a single drop of water. We are totally water-free. The energy consumptions are 50% less than what our competitors are asking for in the industry. And that's the main reason why we are saying that we are here to make sustainability profitable for the industries. So this was India's first successful pilot that was done in 2024. With Oil India Limited in the E&P sector of oil and gas. Now we are doing some very big projects with them. We are also working with Jubilant, so in 3 or 4 months, you'll see a greater plant that will be established not very far from here, near by itself. So if I'll talk about, so this is why we are here. So this is a product that we are developing with, in association with Engineers India Limited for, so as very well stated before me, that the problem of air quality and all of these things, there are multiple solutions obviously that are available. But the solution that we are building over here with EIL, that's not just a CO2 reduction solution or your PM reduction solution or all of these things. The solution is beautification, and so that if it is over there, if it is standing over there, if the device is over there, and we all are sitting here, we don't get any pungent smell. We get to see something that's so beautifully designed, that's working so beautifully, that we are not just planning this is just an air purifier. We are not building an air purifier. We are giving you an end-to-end solution where you don't require any ACs, where you don't require any reduction of CO2 or anything. We give you an end-to-end solution, whether it's CO2, whether it's SOx, NOx, whether it's bacteria and anything. And the cooling technology that we are using, we are not using any coolant or anything. We are going with the traditional methods. I come from a village. So I know that the clay houses that we were living in, that's very phenomenal scientific. That's very scientifically phenomenal. And that's some of the technologies that we're deriving out of the traditional Indian methodologies for the same project. And growth strategy is, I am here not just to tackle 1 ton, 2 ton, 10 tons, or let's say 100 tons of CO2. India is emitting 3.61 gigatons of CO2 in just 2022. The number is way beyond that. So the probability and the possibility of growth, it's huge. And we are here to tap into that market and deliver solution that not just give you a decarbonization option, but also gives you a machine that can give you decarbonization and profitability in the same go. So yes, that's the core of everything. So after $500,000 spent and half a decade of R&D, we are here that we are confidently saying that Europe doesn't have what we have in India. So thank you so much, and I'm open to questions and answers.
Thank you, Abhinav, for an amazing pitch. We can now open the floor for the Q&A or any feedback.
Yeah, thank you. So do you have patent on this?
Yeah, we have patent on both capturing as well as conversion.
And what is the final hydrocarbon product that you claim that we can sell?
You don't need to sell. So if you come from steel industry or if you come from cement industry, you're using any of the boilers or anything where you are using, let's say, coke or coal, or you are using, let's say, methane or natural gas in your operation, you can just blend it in the carbon monoxide and you can use it for your burning purposes, or in the steel industry, you can use it into your DRI purposes, DRI processes also. So you don't need to take the hassle of finding new customers to sell the product. It's the use case is there in your industry itself.
Any other question?
We are following physical adsorption, right?
Yes.
How is it different from the current physical adsorption technologies, and what is the process separation efficiencies you are getting right now?
So we are getting efficiencies more than 98%. So, but that's a question that I wanted to talk here about. So just one fact, since I'm working in this industry for very long, if you are going beyond 90% efficiency, 90 to 95% efficiency, and if your costs are X, if you go beyond 95% efficiency in the conventional methods, your cost will be 5X. So the traditional methodologies that people were adapting to, that was very different. We developed a physiochemical reactor that plays with the carbon dioxide molecule. The problem was carbon dioxide, not the solution, not the chemical. People were working in the chemical aspect. We worked on the CO2 aspect. And that basically resulted in an efficient capture using the adsorbents that are made in India, that are developed in India. We are not dependent on any foreign country. So that's the difference that we have done, and that's for what we have filed a patent for.
Thank you, Gaurav. So in the interest of time, we'll not be able to take further questions. So thank you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Gaurav. Up next, we have a founder who's very proudly flaunting his product, and rightly so. I'd like to invite Anmay Shahlot, co-founder of Atovio.
Hey, hi everybody, good afternoon. I think we've seen some great presentations of people working in the clean air space, but I just wanted to share what we're building at Atovio and how it's different also, right? I think a lot of the solutions which we keep seeing look at air from cleaning a space, or like more from B2B lens, or cleaning a room. But one area which I feel is quite overlooked by people when they think about air is just thinking about their personal breathing space. Right? That's where currently today what solutions which we have today would be an N95 and an N99 mask. But even there we see that the adoption of such solutions happens to be extremely low. Maybe lack of awareness, maybe it being commercially not viable, maybe it being very uncomfortable to wear or socially awkward, right? So that is where we came in. I mean, I can talk about how big the crisis is, but I think in the room we've talked about that quite a bit. But that is where we come up with Atovio, right? Atovio is a wearable air purifier, something like this, which I'm wearing around my neck. What this does is there's a black brush at the top, which releases 6 million negative ions into the air every second. They attach to the pollutants in your breathing space, be it the PM 2.5, pollen particles, PM 10, make them heavier and then drop down from your breathing space, right? I have a small video. In fact, I also had a small experiment which I wanted to show you guys, where we would actually do a smoke test, but due to some restrictions. black negative ion brush, which is generating that negative ions, attaching them to the pollutants there, making them heavy and then dropping down. Right? So within 20 seconds, you can see the jar on the right has cleared up completely. The smoke is not escaping the jar. In fact, all the smoke particles are settling down. So while this is a small demonstration of what the product does, obviously we don't live in a jar. And we've also done a lot more experiments in terms of showing the efficacy of the device. I think we can stop the video and I just go back to the presentation. Yes. So while that was a small demo of how the product really worked in action, but we're also tested at multiple laboratories across India and in the globe. We're tested at the National Aerosol Facility at IIT Kanpur, where we have testing reports on different particular matter, on different chamber sizes, etc. We're also tested at Kitsato Research Center in Japan at a Fair Labs, which is an NABL accredited lab. It is an extremely simple and easy to use. What we figured is that people, while they want clean air, they don't want a lot of hassle in their life. So the product has been designed to be extremely ergonomic. It weighs only 31 grams, charges via standard C-type cable. Around 3 hours of charging gives you around 48 hours of battery life. And it also happens to have a normal mode and a turbo mode. Given that how bad the air quality can get in India, we've also added a turbo mode, which is specifically designed for 150 to 250 AQI levels. Right? And there's no recurring cost, no maintenance. The only thing you need to do is to charge it like a smartphone and keep using it for a week. So that is where we've played a lot on the ergonomics of the device. We've had some initial traction. In fact, we've sold more than 50,000 units so far in the last year of operations. Dr. Shashi Tharoor, Rahul Dua, Food Farmer, Luke Coutinho, Shilpa Shetty, Raj Kundra are some people who've won the product and endorsed it in some way. And it's been around 1.5 years for us. We primarily operate through a more D2C channel. A lot of our channels, our sales happens through e-commerce, our own website, even quick commerce. In fact, you can get it in 10 minutes delivered to this address on Blinkit. And yeah, that's it from my side. Any other questions, I'm happy to take them.
We now open the floor for the Q&A or any feedback for Anmay. Any questions? Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you were just promoting it here. You are here looking for an investment.
We are completely bootstrapped at the moment. I'm happy to have a conversation around investments as well.
Later then.
Sure. Sounds good.
Any feedback? Any questions?
So have you done any testing on actual people wearing it and on an outdoor scenario where there are very different things like wind, speed, breeze, all that?
Correct.
How does it affect and what was the actual change after wearing it?
So you rightly pointed out, the efficiency does change in terms of the wind speed, the humidity levels, the pollution levels. Obviously, it is a lot better to use this in a large indoor setup, for example, a room like this. If you're, let's say, running in a park, the efficiency will decline. While we have done testing in an open space, and I have test report from the National Aerosol Facility of how this product performs in an open space, we're in the process of doing clinical trials, right? So the clinical trials will actually determine how much impact it has on people's health. Let's say if you have a respiratory issue like a COPD or an asthma, how much does it help? While I have anecdotal evidence of it, the clinical trials are underway and those results should come in the next 4 to 5 months, wherein I can start promoting this as a medical device as well. Today it is not a medical device, it is just an electronic device like another air purifier.
We can take one last question.
Two questions.
Yes.
First, you said like it becomes heavier and settles down.
Mm-hmm.
What happens after that? Let's say, does it come back or it remains wherever it is, those particles that you talked about?
Okay.
Yeah, please.
So the most important thing, so we all live in a space which is polluted while changing from seasons to seasons, but fairly polluted. What is most important is that the pollution should not enter your nose. I think other than that, being around pollution is not as problematic as long as it doesn't enter your nose. So what the device is trying to do is that making the pollution particles heavier and then settling down. So it can probably settle down on the ground, maybe again come up with the wind again, and that is how the device keeps working.
But my question was like, once it settles down,
yeah,
Does it remain there, or maybe after 1 hour it is again into the atmosphere?
So it is, since it's become heavier, so it is more likely to stay down. But obviously, like if there's a sweeping in the house, etc., obviously the pollution will come up.
Okay. The second part, I think, related to that. Let's say I am wearing this device, or you are wearing this, and someone next to me is not wearing. So does it increase his or her pollution level? Suppose someone is sitting next to me.
No, it will not increase anybody else's pollution level. But how it is supposed to work is, for example, there's a stream of negative ions coming into your breathing space. So these will work largely for your own breathing space. This is not designed to clean a space around you, but meant for your own breathing space. For example, even if I change the direction of the negative ions, if I move it downwards, it is not going to be as effective. I cannot put it inside my shirt. I cannot wear a jacket on top of this, right? So those things, for example, it has to be an ergonomic distance of 15 to 25 centimeters from your nose. So it has to be ergonomically designed in a way or placed in a way that it is beneficial to your own breathing space, and no, it doesn't add to the pollution of the next person.
Okay. So we cannot take further questions. We are short of time.
So maybe I can take that offline.
Yeah. I will request you to connect with him offline. So this marks the end of this session.
Thank you.
We also have another session of Startup Showcase lined up at 4:40. So huge round of applause for all the founders and Anmay.